Hi, and welcome to this video where we're going to explore impact sounds for objects dropped on the floor in the room above us. We'll look at three different scenarios: a bare wood floor, that same floor covered in an area rug, and then we're going to add a pad under the rug. Now, just to give you the bottom line up front, in my test cases, the rug with the pad was at least 3 decibels quieter, in the worst case, than the wood floor. Now off to my side here you'll see this volume meter. That's showing us the sound volume as recorded by the camera and the microphone. I'm using the same Logitech webcam for this portion of the video as I used for recording the dropped objects from the room below. And you can pay attention to the peak level indicators to give us an idea of the volume levels between the different objects and floors and my talking voice right now. One thing to note is I have not made any adjustments to the microphone input levels between this recording and the test cases. Now the rug we're using is made by a company called Natco. It currently runs for about $65 from Home Depot and it's listed as 8 foot by 12 foot. However, when I measured it was a little bit wider. Now it's probably the least cushy rug that you could possibly imagine. So I expect any rug that you might use is likely going to decrease the sound transmission even more. In fact, when you listen to the different sounds, you'll notice that there's very little difference between the wood floor and just the rug. Now the pad that I put under the rug is one I bought based on some online reviews, and it's made by a company called Mohawk Home. Now this pad is about 1/4 inch thick. And for an area rug, that's about the thickest you're going to find. Now one side of the pad has a rubber coating to keep it from sliding, and the other is felt. Now the rubber won't absorb as much of the impact sound as the felt because it doesn't compress as much as the felt will compress when an object hits it. If you were to install wall-to-wall carpeting, the padding options there allow for an even thicker pad, up to 7/16 of an inch, nearly double the thickness of the pad that we're using here. With wall-to-wall carpet with a good quality thick pad, that you would have significantly less noise transmission than what I experienced in this video. I have some links to the rug and the pad that I used in this video in the description below. And now for the test. We're going to do a drop test to hear the noise from dropping an object on a wood floor versus a area rug with a pad. What we have set up here, we are below the floor. In the room below the floor, we have just a regular webcam that's recording the audio using OBS, and the camera is just pointed straight up at the ceiling here, just so it's picking up the sound coming from above. Now, I don't want to drop a phone for fear of breaking it. So I'm going to try this dog bone instead. We can see the dog bone is about 1/3 of a pound. A typical phone, and this is a Galaxy S7. It's a little bit outdated now. The newer ones tend to be a little bigger, so they're usually heavier. But we can see we're approximately the same weight, just a little heavier. We're going to start by doing a drop here in the room without the rug down. I'm going to hold it. I'm going to drop it from about waist high. Now we have an intruder. Come on, over here. And do it again. And do that again. Again, we're about waist high. And do one more time. Off the rug. So we've put our rug back down. We're in the same spot in the room. We haven't moved places, and we're going to do a few more drops here. Again, approximately waist high. You can hear the difference in the room. It is quite substantial the difference in the room. Now, I'm not doing any processing of the audio in any way. I want to do one more test, and that is, right, this is a very, very inexpensive rug happens to come from Home Depot. It's a 9 foot by 12 foot, and it's their cheapest rug that size. Underneath we have a pad that costs as much as the rug costs, and it's one of their nicer pads that you can order off the internet. Has a rubber gripper on one side and felt on the other, so it won't slide around on the floor. Okay, so what I've done here, it's a little difficult to see. You can see from the edge, I've actually folded the padding back so that the section here is a layer without any padding, and we'll be able to hear the difference in a drop. Again, I'm in the same position, so this part of the rug does not have any padding underneath of it. It's remarkably different in the room, the sound, without having the pad. I'll do one more of those. And we're going to get a third one for good measure. Again, we're about waist high. And now we'll let the doggy have the bone.